Good morning, students. Today we will discuss about fundamental identity of a people. We have already discussed why do we need constitution. There are four functions, right? The specific function. Now, according to that functions, we will discuss about the fundamental identity of a common people. Now, every individual, every common people is different from the other one. Like in your family also, you are different from your parents, you are different from your siblings. Similarly, in a group of people also, you will find different people altogether. So people have different identity. Okay, every individual has a different opinion. They have different ideology, looks are different, languages are different, the religion they follows, they are different, culture different, everything is different. Though everything is different with each and every person being a citizen of a particular country, they have to follow certain rules and regulations. It's upon them, right? So when having different identities and all of them are agreeing in one certain basic norms and principle set by our constitution, if they are following the rules, if they are following the principles, if they are agreeing on that principle, and whatever the rules or the regulations our government, our constitution has set up, if they are agreeing upon that, that means all of us belongs to a collective identity. Collective means to be in a group, collect one and another. So having different personalities, having different identities, we all of us are following one single constitution. Whatever rules and regulations has been enacted in our constitution, everyone is following that, so that becomes collective identity. Now there is a moral identity. Now what is moral identity? We are having certain basic rights. We are utilizing our rights. For example, we have right to education, we have right to vote. Every individual has a right to opportunity, right to speak. Right is there. Rights means अधिकार. हम लोगों का जो अधिकार है, which we are utilizing as a human being, as a citizen of a particular country. Now, if you are utilizing certain rights, then there must be certain restriction also. For example, you have a right to speech or right to speak. You can voice out your thinking, right? That is your right. But there is one restriction or the limitation, and that restriction is by voicing out or by your whatever thing you are thinking. If you just voice out that thinking, that should not hurt another's feeling, right? We cannot hurt other people. If we hurt them, then that means that is a mistake. If that is a small thing, then a mistake. If that is a bigger thing, then that is an offense. So restriction is also there. Why? How can you say that restrictions are there? If you are doing something, if we are doing crime, then police is there, right? They might arrest us. That is the restriction. So restrictions are also provided by the constitution only, like the rights, like your civil rights or a political rights or a democratic right. Similarly, restrictions are also there. So having different identities, you are following some set of rules, you are utilizing your rights, that is called collective identity. And if you are following certain restrictions, if you are following certain if you are not doing any crime, you are afraid of the punishment because the restriction is there, because government is there. So if you are restricted by certain things, if you are restricted by certain rules and regulation which has been provided by our constitution, then that's become a moral identity. So we have to follow certain basic rules and rights, and we also have to think about the restrictions also. Okay, so that is called mm, fundamental identity of a people, because the constitution has given us fundamental rights as well as restrictions. Now, constitution is based on the government of a country. You will find in every country you will find some constitution, but it's not that every constitution is same. Like we have Indian constitution is different from another country's constitution. Like for example, there is one country, Germany. Okay, in German constitution is basically based upon um, identity of a people, that is ethnically German. If the people belongs to Germany, they are ethnically German, then only they are bound to follow. So the German constitution is based upon identity. Okay, identity of a common people. Now in India there is no such things, because India have a diverse uh, you will find a diverse religions, diverse culture. Everything is different from one another in India, and our constitution is not based on ethnicity. Ethnicity means a group of people who used to follow certain culture and regulations. Okay, the ethnic group, if they are following same culture, same group, if they are speaking same language, then that group of people become ethnic people. So German's constitution is based upon that ethnicity, but the Indian constitution is not based upon any ethnic culture. Our constitution does not criticize any other religion or any other culture, and our constitution is not based on ethnicity. Our constitution, Indian constitution, is basically based on to protect the rights of the common people, protect the rights of the citizen. This is for the development of the common people, development of every individual. Now, the authority of the constitution. Now, what is this authority of the constitution? There are certain questions. Okay, there are three questions especially. What is constitution? How effective is a constitution? Is a constitution just? So these are the three questions which we will try to find out the answer. First of all, what is constitution? Constitution is a compact document that comprises a number of articles about the state, specifying how the state is to be constituted and what norms it should follow. So, our constitution, Indian constitution, is a set of documents. Okay, it's a book. You can say that it's a book with so many articles, rules, regulations, functions, restriction. Everything has been written in our constitution, and the government as well as the common people as well as the officials, whoever is there, whoever is the citizen of India, they have to follow the constitution, that a set of document. Now, some other countries like the United Kingdom, for example, they do not have one single document. Okay, but that can also be called a constitution. But in India we have only one set of document, which we gave name constitution. And in USA, UK, United Kingdom, you will not find one single set of documents. Okay, they have different documents, and they used to call them constitution. So constitution, Sambidhan, according to the country, there are different types of constitution. Some have only one set of documents, or some have two or three documents. Some constitution, some countries constitution is based upon ethnicity, some countries constitution does not based upon ethnicity, like India. Some but all those constitution exactly means a set of documents which where you will find basic rights, rules, regulations and everything. Okay, now Mode of promulgation. Promulgation means put into effect or promote. Now our Indian constitution has been came into force in when? Do you have any idea when the constitution came into force? The Constitution of India came into force in 26th January 1950. That is why we used to celebrate Republic Day on 26th January. Now our constitution came into effect that time, okay? In many countries, constitution remain defunction because they are crafted by military leaders or the leaders who are not popular and do not have the ability to carry the people with them. Now, some certain constitutions in some countries, you will find that constitution has been made by some military leaders, and the military leaders, obviously they will first think about themselves, then only the citizen. But here we are not talking about the armies, okay? The Indian army, like we have Indian army always used to first think about the whole country, India and its citizen, then only they will think about themselves. That is why our military was very, very strong. But the military power, like for example in Pakistan has a military power, and you can also say that that military power as a dictator also. In a democracy, the government is ruled by the common people, but in a dictatorship, the government is ruled by only one superpower, or the military power. So in some countries where the military has formed the constitution, they did not think about the common people, or they did not have the ability to carry out common people's thinking. But in India, our India, there are many other countries which have successful constitutions, like for example India, South Africa, United States. So these are the countries where you will find a successful constitution. Why? Because those constitution has been created after the popular national movement. We also have a popular national movement, right? Before independence, the freedom struggle, that is called the popular national movement. National means a movement of whole country, whole people, whichever people were citizen of that particular country. If they are having a movement, then that become a national movement. We will discuss this national movement, nationalism, in our there are chapters. I don't know which in which chapter, but there is a nationalism. One chapter is there. We will discuss about this in that chapter only. Okay. Now the constitution. So many the successful constitution has been created after the national movement, like in India. And India's constitution was formally created by a constituent assembly between December 1946 and November 1949. Our constitution has been formally created, came into effect, or came into effect, that is 1950. But first, in order to write something, in order to put some rights or duties or rules and regulations, there should be certain discussion, and people's required for that particular discussion. So in order to discuss, in order to set a documents, we have one assembly, and that's name of the assembly is Constituent Assembly. So this Constituent Assembly was formed from, please remember the date, December 1946 and November 1949. So there were so many discussions going on between the member of this assembly, and they have they incorporated certain rules, regulation, and everything has been incorporated, or everything has been written in this document, in this constitution, according to the benefit of the common people. Common people should be benefited from this discussion. Common people should be benefited from these rules and regulations. No one's right will be violated. Everyone should have the common right. Everyone should have same type of right, same type of restriction. There shouldn't be any discrimination on the basis of class, caste, creed, and everything. So it become a very difficult task for the member of the constituent assembly to set a constitution. But the freedom fighters or the leaders of our India, they um, become successful in incorporating our constitution, in writing our constitution. So this constitution basically carried enormous public authority, and we have given them the power to um, to rule. The government is ruling the country, so this government has been made by the common people, and according to us, according to the common people, the constitution has also been written. So this is the constitution. We will discuss the substantive provision of a constitution in our next class. I hope all of you are getting my point, or if you did not understand anything, if you are having any problem, please let me know. You can write in WhatsApp, you can comment over there, and I'll try my best to make you understand everything. Okay, till then, take care and be safe.